Deep down, you may still be that same bright kid you used to be. But it's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you.
We're gonna sell gold, guys. We are 100% selling gold. Yeah, guys, I haven't been talking. I do apologize here if you guys can't hear me. I've just been marking up charts. Sometimes when I'm just looking at certain setups, like I don't talk, I'm in my head just talking. I'm sorry. I'm just analyzing and I'm just looking, so I do apologize. Let's see this right now. What if we're gonna sell off here? I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, if I'm marking up pretty fast, it's because I am I'm just getting in flow right now. It looks like Dixie wants to move to the upside here, which is good. With Dixie moving to the upside here, it's very much bullish here. I think Dixie's gonna run. Let's see if we can push through this mitigation here and break structure. That would be great. I do want to see Dixie mitigate past this zone here. And not just mitigate, I mean completely break through. This last zone over here is invalid. You see this right here? Invalid. Because it's already mitigated here with the swipe of liquidity. Now that price has moved to the upside here, there's no rejection. Looks like it's gonna move higher. Because of that, I'm looking for Dixie to move higher, USD CAD to move a little bit higher. We gotta just look for a pullback on CAD, but CAD move higher. Looking for SPX to drop a little bit more. I don't like that SPX broke structure. It's very contradicting. One day it breaks structure to the low side, the next day it breaks structure to the back, to the upside. I don't like that. Very contradicting. I'm actually looking at This is all right here. AI. This is all AI. Even from yesterday. AI is creating this jump here with price. And that's what I'm saying, like AI is saving markets here. The one thing I don't like about it is that it did break structure. So normally in like structural standpoint, what does that mean for me? I would buy it. In a structural standpoint, I'd look at this here. I would probably compress it a little bit with price, right? Even more, a little bit. Probably here. Based on the way Dixie's looking, I'd want to sell. But I'd want to sell either here or here. Because we're not near 10 a.m. So, but this thing can kind of run before. Yeah, this right here is like the ideal. This area here is the ideal sell area. Here is kind of like a little bit of an idea of a gist. But even that, it's like, I don't want to trade within range. I'd rather trade the opposite of range. I'd rather trade the opposite of range here. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, trading within the range here. This is what I'd look for. It's kind of a dangerous trade because I would buy this once it goes to this zone. But if I want to find a trade, I'd probably find the trade by doing this. Trading within the range. It makes the most sense. I'm gonna change my bias here. I'd rather sell than try to trade. I'd rather sell than try to trade within range. This thing is ranging like still, you know, so I'd rather just sell the range than try to get stuck in between the range, buying and selling, which would be stupid, you know. Trading within the range is how you lose money. You can in the lower time frame. Price will come back as it does here. Look at how many times price comes back. 1, 2, 3. It'll probably come back a 4th time within the range. You can scalp that, make some money, but the trade within range for an intraday trade or a breakout is not you. Make sense? It's just not. Let's look at the 10-year yield. Yeah, it's moving to the upside again. When it does do that, you're gonna see more pressure, bearish pressure on indices, stocks. Let's look at VIX real quick here. Looks like VIX is finally gonna move to the upside. Go volatility. It needs to go a bit lower and fill that gap we were talking about earlier here. You see that? That's good. Full volatility moving down usually means gold is bearish here. Let's look at what's happening here. I'm gonna get rid of some of this noise here, specifically with oil. Here's some tips. Just some tips here. You're always trading different market conditions every quarter. Oh, God. Let's see what happened here. What was the catalyst of making this jump to the upside here? Very curious. The daily looks very bullish. 4 hour. 4 hours the only chart that doesn't look bullish, but 8 hour, 12 hour daily, and 2-day looks extremely good. Let's look at what dumb thing Trump said today, or let's see if we can get something here. Don't have oil here. Let's look at X. Huh. Yeah, this is why oil jumped, probably.
Interior Minister made a last-minute. Iran's foreign ministry says they are reviewing a new U.S. proposal. This comes as Pakistan's Interior Minister made a last-minute trip to the Iranian capital of Tehran for talks aimed at moving a possible agreement forward. Iran's foreign minister spoke yesterday with a warning for the United States.
Should it become necessary, should the interests of the state dictate that we prepare ourselves in the field of diplomacy, of discussion, of negotiation, then we will prepare ourselves. But with strength, the same strength with which the armed forces prepare themselves in defense of the country.
President Trump says he's in no hurry to make a deal since the U.S. naval blockade is causing significant economic damage to Iran and weakening the regime. Iran's foreign ministry says they are reviewing a new U.S. proposal. This comes as Pakistan's Interior Minister made a last-minute trip to the Iranian capital of Tehran for talks aimed at moving a possible agreement forward. Iran's foreign minister spoke yesterday with a warning for the United States.
Should it become necessary, should the interests of the state dictate that we prepare ourselves
Iran strikes an oil ship attempting to leave the Strait of Hormuz. This right here is Wyckoff. This is Wyckoff theory to a T.
Probably going to close the Strait of Hormuz, and yet here we are, all of our predictions coming true.
The Iranians have made clear that if the U.S. renews the war, they are going to cut the fiber optic cables, the internet cables, underneath the Strait of Hormuz, through which a significant amount of global traffic, and the UAE is a global financial center. So that will shut down a huge portion of, or a significant portion of global finance right there. They've said that they will have their allies, the Ansar Allah, the Houthis in Yemen, close the Bab el-Mandab Straits on the Red Sea, which is like a double closure on top of the Strait of Hormuz. They have said that they will completely destroy energy infrastructure in the Middle East, including the east-west pipeline to Yanbu across Saudi Arabia, through which Saudi Arabia has actually still been able to get out 60 to 70% of their oil. Iran has escalation dominance in this situation. Whatever the US can do to Iran, and it's they can drop a lot of bombs and do a lot of damage. The Iranians can take it and asymmetrically inflict much more damage back on the global economy until the US stops this war.
The Iranians are Persians. This is interesting here. It's my prediction with oil. What I see it doing here. I don't see oil slowing down, guys. I don't see oil slowing down at all. Thoughts on oil? I don't see oil slowing down at all, which is dangerous because we're at already above 100 a barrel. If this thing extends, which I think it's going to, it looks like it's going to. I'm just thinking short-term extension, like intraday short-term extension. I'm looking at like potentially it to go to like 110. But if we're looking at like, let's say swing extension, I would actually look at this here. If I was going to swing this here for a buy, which I've been talking about for a long time, like swing extension. My swing extension prediction would be for us to go most likely to 1.117, and also like even there's a possibility of like 124, which is a safe bet. You know, a very, very safe bet. Now, if we're looking at total trend extension, if you want me to be brutally honest, 128 is not out of the picture. Both looking at internal and external structure, you have multi-time frame confluence at 128. See that? There's a possibility oil gets there. If oil gets to 128, the whole system just breaks. So we want to be careful here. I don't want to sound like a fucking doomsday guy, like it's the end of the world. But I mean, shit will happen. Let's see this. This is an hour ago.
But they need the Strait of Hormuz much more than we do, and might want to start doing less.
He's talking about Europe. This is funny.
Until we get a great deal, we're shutting the fucking strait. Until we get a great deal, we're shutting.
This is funny.
And there is one thing nobody is talking about in regards to Iran. And I want to know if you've read any of this stuff here, Tom, while I go through it. Do you know when people think about where we get internet from? Do you know 97% of the internet that we use, to upwards of 99%, is it satellites or is it underwater?
Cable.
It's cable. And cable is where?
Underwater.
Underwater. 97% underwater. You know how many thousand miles? There's 750,000 miles of cable underwater.
Wow.
Each mile to build these is between $400,000 to $1.1 million to create each mile of this. So go 750,000 miles of cable. Okay. What the hell does this have to do with anything? If you want to pull up these cables, Rob, on what they look like, the underwater cables for internet, and if you go to that one right there, go to that one right there. Can you, no, the one, that's what it looks like, just so you know, but go to the fourth image, right there. Can you make that bigger? Okay. This is what Iran just figured out.
Huh.
You see all these cables where they're going through? 60%. Go zoom in a little bit more. That's a pretty shitty quality picture, but we'll do the best with it, Rob. Zoom in a little bit more to India. Do you see that bottom left, like right in the middle of India, that zero dot right there? Go a little bit higher to show you which one it is. Go right there. Go down a little bit with that arrow, Rob. Can you put it right to the left? Right there. That one right there is Mumbai. 60% of India's internet comes from Mumbai and the cables that go through there. 2 of the connections of these cables go through where? Strait of Hormuz. So Iran has realized, wait a minute, if this collapse, by the way, $10 trillion a day is going through that cable. And they figured out and they said, oh, you guys want to play ball, so guess what we want to do? They've not just been asking about the $2 million per ships that come through a day from Strait of Hormuz, which is 2 million times 60 ships is what? $120 million a day times 30 days. That's a lot of money for these guys to be making, right? If you think about, is it 2 million times 60, $120 million, right?
Yeah.
They're not only asking for that because they want to say, we want to control Strait of Hormuz, but guess what that they're asking? They've made 3 requests. 1, they want to take control of the cables that goes through Strait of Hormuz. 2, the entire, if it breaks and fixes, you can't use any other company except for Iran to be able to fix the cable. So they want the business to go through them. And he's now asking, do you know who has cables on Strait of Hormuz? Which companies? Microsoft, Apple, Meta has built their own cables that's going through there. India all of a sudden comes out and is like, wait a minute. We cannot, because Iran's like, hey, we found out about these cables. If you guys mess with it, because back in the days, what China knew how to do is, even Russia trained on this. China had a unit, and Russia as well, where they taught their people on how to go
SPX,
underwater to mess with these cables.
Looking for
and
cells.
In many instances, they'll go and they'll drop the
cells
anchor
here to come downward
in areas that they know where these cables are at, and the ship gradually moves. You know what all of a sudden happens when the anchor gets stuck in the cable? Boom, cuts the cable. All of a sudden, the country loses internet. You know for how long? A long time, because it's not like you call AAA and somebody comes and fixes it within 20, 30 minutes. You know how long it takes to fix these things? Weeks to months to fix them. And if India is now being threatened by this, India is now making a phone call and saying, hey, these Iranians, we thought they were dumb. Apparently, they're not done with the IRGC. Not only do they want to mess with this, but now they're talking about they're going to mess with the cables. If they mess with the cables, guess who's going to be impacted by this economically? Everybody.
The whole world.
The whole world. And is there a country that is famous for saying things like death upon America, capable of messing with these cables if you really push them to the corner?
Oh, yeah.
Probably yes. So now this leads to you thinking about one of two things.
Past it, but I'd scalp
Does the Strait of Hormuz impact the West more, or does it impact China, India, Russia more? Who does the Strait of Hormuz impact negatively more, us or China and Russia?
China, Russia.
Okay, beautiful. So if it's China or Russia, don't you think this will be a conversation that they're going to be having? Because we're not at a point with the satellite. Oh, we're going to go. Internet's coming from the satellite like Starlink. You know how long it takes to fix those things?
Yeah.
Long time to fix it. Internet is underwater, and Iran just brought. Can you pull up the story, Rob? They just brought this up a week ago. You've not even heard about the story until about a week ago when Iran said, here's what we want with these cables. So whoever's given this intel to them, is that it? Yeah, there you go. Look at this. Look at this. Iranian state media proposes charging international companies a fee to use fiber optic cables in the Strait of Hormuz. Go a little bit lower. Iran's semi-official transatlantic agency could start tsunami.
I'm looking at this for gold.
So they ask for 3 different things which they're getting, and you're starting to see this is becoming a topic. So I wonder if this will be another one of those things that they'll talk about, because if they all of a sudden get reckless and they mess with this, the world is going to be saying, hey, we got to stop, specifically India. So India will be in the middle saying, well, U.S., listen, we kind of got to finish this war because we can't get anything. And the U.S. is going to be like,
for sure.
Nope. Number one priority for us is making sure those guys don't have a nuclear weapon.
Okay. Wow. Let's go. Bitcoin went to the re-entry here and then sold off. The re-entry I gave earlier this week, which is amazing. Okay. We're going to extend downward here. Hopefully this breaks the structure that we talked about. That's what I'm looking forward to. And for it to move lower here. BTC finally moving a bit lower. It's great. I think it's going to move even lower. Other than that, appreciate you guys. Love y'all. And I will see you guys in the next session. execute at 10 a.m. You're gonna see these pullbacks happen here. So I would execute at 10 a.m. here. So specifically here, you'll notice a pullback maybe at 10 a.m. actually, and then the execution of the trades will happen around like 11 a.m. since this thing is falling. I'm gonna add an alert here. Let's go to gold. I'm gonna add an alert on gold. Yep, I already have an alert on gold. I have an alert on USD oil right here. I'm gonna have an alert on USD CAD right here. I'm gonna have an alert on BTC already executed. So just SPX hit those other ones here. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all, and I will talk to you guys soon. Execute at 10. Look at 10 a.m. and then 11 a.m. reversal times. See you guys on the next session.